Hello again. I think I'm gonna explain some things in small parts because I tried to do a whole video and I just ended up with a bit of confusion. So I have these sketches and I'm gonna sort of uh, project the sketches onto different offsets. And what happens then is that when I want to offset the sketches to a different size, it gives error messages. So let's try and see how to do that. So first off, I have this, and I'll make a new plane on that. So there, and I set it to 0 because I want it on the same plane. So I'll just move that. That's the main one. That's the one I'm going to project, and I can remove this one. So now you can see I have two offsets. So I'm going to create a new sketch on this one, and then I want to project this here. And the easiest way to project is just press P, and then P. You can just double click. If you double click, it will select the nearest one that is sort of connected to the point. And you can see it's recreating the points here. If you double click, it doesn't do it properly. So I'll just double click from the start, P from project, double click, and you see now it also selected the bottom because it interacts with the same point. And then I'll do one here and one here, and then I'll start at the bottom. Not that one, this one. See, now it selected all those, and then this, and then this. What I'm doing now, I'm double clicking, that's why it's multi-selecting. And here, and press this, double click this. Notice what happens now. You cannot actually see it, but if I remove this, now you see if I select it by one clicking, it says 23. If I remove this again and double click it, it says 24. So what you see here is that it's actually selecting an overlapping edge. So let's leave it at 24 because I'm going to show you what happens. So press OK. And now I get this projected to the other side here. Now I want to offset this a little bit further in. So let's just multi-select everything again, just the way we did with the double click. And here, here, and here. I'll start from the bottom again here. Hold Control, double click, and double click, and double click. And now you see that's clicked. Okay. So now I want to try and offset that to be a little bit smaller because I want to project it. So O for offset, and now you see could not find offset curves. Now the problem is here that you have overlapping lines in the structure, and I'm going to show you exactly where that is. If I go and click on this one and I click P for no, not that. I want to offset, so I click offset, select one, and I click offset. You see one is selected. Now I don't need to hold Control. Just double click. Double click, it doesn't do anything now, but you have to select it. So here, 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 and here, and here. And if you zoom out, you will see that it's actually drawing the offset. Let's take the offset a little bit closer so you can actually see it. So I'm moving it to the inside. Here, 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 here. And I'll zoom in a bit and you will see what happens. So I get to here, and here, and here, and here. But you see what happens here now. there are two selections on this space. Sorry, if I double click this, it should not work. If I double click it away, if I click this, you see you have a gap here. If I now try to select it, you can see I cannot select that. Click it away, and then I can select it. But this part here actually has two lines on it. So if I select it like that, I'm unable to offset it because this line and this point is not actually connected. So I click that away, and suddenly it says, okay, I can do that. But if I click this, it will actually not give an error. It will look okay. And if I expand this, it will hold the shape. So basically what this does is it shows you that because you're trying to make an offset line and you have it like here, barely offset, if this offset line cannot continue properly to the next point, it will give an error. So if I'm here and I select this, you see now it error out because it cannot reach the line beneath because there is actually no relation from that there to there. And this is actually a way where you can find out if the sketch you're using or drawing on is actually having a solid reference to the next point. So basically what happens here is that this one does not have a proper reference, which means I know that these 2 points later on will create a problem. So what I can do is I can go a little bit step back. So I can revert back to where I were here, and I can revert even further and say okay. So I go back to this and to edit sketch, and you see the reason this happened is because I used a mirror function. So I mirrored, I don't know if it was this side to this side or reversed, but here you have an overlap. So you go in and you, on the original sketch, you can delete this and do L, and just for reference I'm gonna make a point there like that. You see I'm drawing in 3D space, and then I press L, and then I do like that. And you see now it actually became a constraint sketch because there's no overlapping edges and the line I removed has been fully constrained back. So press escape. Now you see there is no, if you press and hold the mouse button, you can see there is no dual line there. And we press finish. And now if I want to do the same thing as I did before, I can just go back to that sketch I made, edit sketch. And now I'm literally I'm drawing on the on this plane. You see, I'm drawing on this plane. So I want to first project that one onto the other plane, and I can do that. So I can double click that, P for project. I'm not holding control now, I'm just double clicking. Because we removed the original double line in the sketch, when I do this, you can see there is no longer a double line going over here, it's just single lines. I can press OK. And now you see there is 24 selected. OK. And now I will have this projected. And then I can click O for outline, and I can select everything I want to do. And when you get to the top here, you will be able to select everything without problem because there is no duplicate lines anymore. So you go here, you see, Now it's just one single line, and here. I think the problem I got that error now is because I double clicked on this. So let's try that again. Let's start at the top. Oh, maybe there are some duplicate lines here as well. Click, and not double clicking, just single clicking. And now there's nothing here, so we can see if there are other duplicate lines here which I haven't noticed before. You can drag it in and make it smaller. Close to the offset as possible. You can see it's able to draw it. I have a feeling there is something around this area, because remember it wasn't constrained down here. So we go down here, it still seems to be okay. Still seems to be okay. Seems okay. I think there is something here, because you can see it's minimizing the line there. So there. And now it might give an error. Now, why did it not give an error now? But when I selected the other one, you notice something happens. It moves the reference point outwards. And that is simply because I'm trying to, as far as I can understand, I'm trying to create a collision here. Because here you see the reference is following the same line. But when I select this line, I get an error because I'm basically intersection itself. So the ideal here is that actually I want to have this line here. And if I've tried to do this, I will get an error because the second you get inside, it becomes wrong. So let's just unselect that line. You see it goes back to the space, and then it says OK. You see, now you got this. Now it's better to just create a point here, for instance. Then you do a 3-point arch from this space to this space, and then you just intersect in between them. And it's basically not managing to do that because this is going. So I'm just going to remove that and then create arch point. And now it's fully constrained. So let's see if this one actually now fits the description of where the body should be, just to test it. It does not yet, so front. It does conform with this edge here on the other side, but it should go all the way into here. Anyway, that was just to show you a little bit about how you can find duplicate lines, which prevents you from using the outline tool on projected objects. So thanks for watching.